If you're new to Shopify dropshipping, then chances are you're probably overwhelmed, right? There's thousands of videos, if not tens of thousands of videos telling you what to sell, but almost none of them are going to show you how to actually build the actual shop and build clean product pages that actually sell well from start to finish. And that is exactly what I want to do in this video. I want to make it as simplistic and easy as possible for you to start and get moving successfully very quickly. I'm going to show you how to set up a Shopify store, everything, the walkthrough of the behind the scenes and like where to expect certain things, how to use DropSure then to import products properly to your store, how to optimize them so they actually convert, people that land on your store into paying customers that buy from you, and obviously how to publish them right away with no guesswork, no skipping steps, and no supplier listings that look messy and terrible, right? We're going to optimize everything very easily using these softwares. Now, by the end of this video, I want you to have a clear, repeatable system that you can do over and over and over again. So let's hop into it, all right? All right, so let's start with the foundation, which is creating your Shopify account and understanding the core things that you'll be using every day. I literally just created a brand new one just to showcase you a brand new store in this, in this video, so that you get a feel for what it's going to look like when you sign up from the very start. All right. So if you don't have a Shopify store already, then just simply head over to shopify.com and click the button where you can start your free trial. Depending on, as you can see here, shopify.com, depending on when you actually are looking into this, you'll see a button that says start for free or start for a certain trial, start for $1. They always have a certain promo running for you. And as you can see, once you click on this, the promo currently at the time of recording this is, I think, a 7-day free trial. And then the 3 months after that, it's $1 each month. So it's a crazy trial. You barely have to pay anything up front, and you can get started very, very quickly. They do this because they know that their software is obviously good and it's very sticky, and that once you sign up, you build your store, the chances of you sticking on long term once you get a sale or two is pretty high, all right? So it's win-win for everybody. It doesn't cost very much for you. And then obviously once you start your free trial, you're going to enter a few basic details. It'll ask you for a store name. And obviously you can leave that blank and create that later if you're unsure what your brand is going to be yet, if you're unsure what products you're going to import yet, or a specific niche. It's totally fine. You could always rename it later. You could also go to AI and ask it for, 10 top store names for a broad Shopify store. What I would recommend for you, this isn't just with Shopify, it's drop shipping and e-commerce in general. The name doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, right? The only time it matters is if you're super niche with your name, because then if you're super niche, then you're only pinpointed to drop shipping and selling in that specific niche in that category, right? However, on the other hand, if you go broad with your name, and the name doesn't have to mean anything or be associated with anything, but if it's like a broad name, then a perfect example of why you'd want to do that is because you can then sell in every single category and it doesn't matter. Think Amazon, right? Think Etsy. Think one of the names that I used to use in the past for one of my general stores was Cardinal Corp. Why? No, literally no reason. It didn't mean anything. It just meant broad, right? Like broad. So don't niche down unless you're 100% sure you're going to stick with that and stick with it long term. I would just keep it either unnamed in the beginning or generally speaking like something broad, all right? So that's my little store name caveat. Don't niche down yet, okay? Now, once you obviously sign up, you put your email and your password, you name your store or you leave it blank, it's going to ask you things on, is this an e-commerce store, what your goals are with it, and then it'll walk you through the initial setup very, very easily. And once you're inside the Shopify dashboard and you sign up, you'll notice a few key things here. So this is what it's going to look like when you sign up. This is where you're going to be interacting frequently, okay? You'll see a number of things here on the left, and obviously right here on home, it's going to show you your name and all the different, nuances. You can set up your Shopify payments, your shipping rates, customize your domain if you want to later. If for whatever reason you want to go to like Namecheap or GoDaddy, or even right here in Shopify and get an actual domain so that when people hit your page, it doesn't say like you're at a Shopify domain. It actually has a legitimate URL so you look legit, right? And you can obviously publish a Shopify store anyway without that, but you used to be able to in the past, like years and years ago. But the key with that is like it wouldn't have a lot of social proof and buyers wouldn't want to buy. Now, as you can see from the homepage here, this is your main dashboard. It's going to show you key metrics like total sales, online store sessions, top products, and any recent activity. So think of this as your control room for tracking all performance and everything that comes along with your store. Here's where all your incoming orders are going to live right here. So if you click over to orders where I was, Obviously, this is a brand new store, so you're not seeing any right now, but this is where everything's going to be, all right? You'll see new, you'll see pending orders, you'll see fulfilled orders in the past, you'll see archive orders here, and you can obviously manually create orders or create fulfillment if you need to. It's very, very easy. So you can create an order manually if you'd like to. For example, let's say hypothetically you had like a Shopify store, but also like a retail store or a traveling location or something along those lines. You could always create a point of sale order as well, and it's very easy to do so in here. And this is valuable because obviously you can see what your new orders are, what orders are being fulfilled, what past orders are fulfilled as well. Because in the past, when I was teaching like e-commerce for like retail dropshipping, for example, which is not Shopify, it's another business model entirely. What I'd recommend for the longest time is like use a spreadsheet because you want to stay organized. You want to keep track of all your orders, for obviously, expenses, revenue, and profitability and everything that goes along with that, but also so that you can keep track of all your orders in case somebody wanted to return something or you had an issue with an order. You can go back and look at those past orders previously, right? Or for example, if like you wanted to go back and look at like what your top selling products are and do, product research within your actual and look at your analytics to see like what your top products were so you could list and sell more stuff like that. But you don't need to do that anymore. It's all happening natively and kept track of automatically here in your Shopify dashboard, which is a goldmine, right? Obviously, you're going to want to go back and look at past orders if, for example, you need to search something or refund something. But also, it's great to obviously look back and see what your top selling products are here, and it's all happening here. You don't need to keep track of it yourself. Shopify will do all that for you. Now, the next tab here that you'll see is your products. So this module is obviously critical. This is where you're going to add, edit, organize all your products here. This is where we're going to focus a lot of DropSure activity later as well. So I'll show you a lot of that coming soon. The next tab here is customers. This is going to show you every visitor who's made a purchase along with their contact info, lifetime value of that customer, which is an extremely valuable stat going forward if you plan on scaling or, increasing the LTV of your customers in a number of different ways. Obviously, there's added apps that you can, email marketing, retarget, like all those things come later, but this is an extremely valuable tool. And obviously purchase history, like I said, great for future marketing. The next one is going to be the analytics tab. So as you come down here all the way at the bottom, Shopify has a built-in analytics tab that's going to give you sales trends, customer behavior, conversion insights, and all of these things are examples of how you're going to understand what's working and what needs improvement a lot better. It's going to showcase everything for you. Again, you don't need some special app for it. It's all going to happen here natively in the analytics tab. You can look at a live view. You can look at past reports on literally everything that you've done, okay? Now let's go to the marketing tab. So if we scroll up, as you can see, the marketing, Shopify lets you create campaigns here, okay? Discount codes, which are extremely valuable if you're running a sale. If, for example, if you're going to run ads in the future, you might want to run like a discounted specific sale on that video. So A, you can track attribution, which you should be able to do anyway, but B, also to inspire a little bit of urgency and like a specific sale price for that actual ad, right? Whatever your case is, obviously, this is how you're going to do it right here in this tab right here. So discount codes, like I said, email marketing campaigns, and pretty much all automated things from here, but we'll focus on products mainly in this video because I want to focus on importing products, getting you set up. Obviously, the marketing, the remarketing, the coupon codes, the running of ads comes later on in the process. Once you get your products up, once you get a few sales, then things like this start to come into play. And as you can see here, your sales channels, so let's go down to online store. This is where you're going to manage your store's theme, the navigation, the blog if you have a blog, any pages that come along with your store. Whatever you publish here becomes a live part of your storefront. So this is also a really good way to see what it looks like. As you can see, view your store, and then you can kind of see a live view from your store and what it actually looks like on both your desktop, like on a PC or a Mac, and obviously a phone here with the mobile version. Both of these are obviously extremely important, and everything should be obviously mobile formatted as well. All right. So now let's walk through the back end of DropSure and some of the core functions there. Now that you've set your Shopify account up, you've done the basics, you've signed up, and you're ready to roll, and you see, what the actual sections on a Shopify website look like, DropSure's backend is just as easy to set up and utilize. They make it super simple on purpose so you don't get confused, and everything is streamlined for you. So if you're not logged into DropSure yet, just go to dropsure.com and you can log in with your account. Again, same thing with them. It comes with a trial, so go to dropsure.com. As you can see, boom, you can try it for free or start your free trial. Sign up in literally seconds. It's super easy. And now once you're in, You'll land on this dashboard here, which is going to give you quick access to, product sourcing tools, recent imports, key functions like filters, templates, and publishing tools. And obviously you can see all the different sections here. All right. So the product import workflow here is going to go like this. All right. The way that DropSure makes product sourcing efficient is by giving you a unified space to actually find products, right? But not just find products, as you can see here in a second, not just find products like everybody else does. It also lets you evaluate them really, really well, tweak them even, and then push them to your Shopify store without constantly having to copy and paste and switch tabs back and forth. I used to hate that using other marketplaces and other websites. They make it super easily here, okay? So obviously here on the dashboard, you can see things like new orders that are coming in, corresponding with your DropSure products, any pending payments, any paid orders already, and any support tickets that you might have based on, customer service with DropSure, if you have a refund or you need to return something or something along those lines. It's all handled here just as easily on your dashboard, and it smacks you in the face to make everything literally no guesswork for you. Now, if you come down here to products, you'll see a search bar and category filters, which I absolutely love. There's a ton of them here. You can search for keywords like fitness trackers or dog beds or LED lights, or choose a category as well from the dropdown and browse the options in that specific category. There are a ton. You see home improvement, furniture, home and appliances, outdoor sports, health and beauty, consumer electronics, pretty much everything that you can imagine is here. And you can obviously search for something specific as well. You can ship from China, or you can also ship from the United States and sort it that way. That's extremely valuable for anybody that might be drop shipping on somewhere like TikTok Shop, for example, or anywhere where either they want faster fulfillment to their customer or they need faster fulfillment to their customer because it fits within the shipping timelines on that specific website. If you're just selling on Shopify, obviously you can still source from China. That's going to give you the added advantage of a better margin and cheaper prices in a lot of ways, but also you're going to have to obviously eat that cost in shipping time. So it's either time or money. But if you aren't just selling on Shopify and you're using your Shopify store to maybe push it to TikTok Shop or something along those lines, then obviously you're going to want to use the United States warehouses, and so make sure that that's selected here. That gives you the option, which I absolutely love. And again, it's super easy to sort and search. Now, once you hit search here, so let's take an example and we'll search for dog beds, right? And once we hit search, as you can see, it's going to return a list of products along with key metrics like the price, the supplier options, the profit estimates, and even bestseller indicators if those are specifically available for that product. And you can quickly skim the list to find products that fit your niche, right? You can see everything here for you, the price, whether it's a multi-pack, and get an idea of where it's shipping from, unless you've sorted specifically for, the US. There we go. You can also filter in the specific prices, and we actually just got a major snowstorm, so this would have been perfect to sell. Like the whole East Coast in the United States got drilled with a massive snowstorm last weekend, so this artificial grass probably would have sold like in droves if you listed this like 2-3 weeks ago, but that's neither here nor there. Now, when you do find a product that you want to sell, all you need to do is you just click import to start importing that product. So if we click in the product here, you can see pretty much everything. You can see all the pictures that it comes with, high quality pictures. You can see the actual information on the listing, the title, the product description, and everything good that comes along with that, the product price, and whether or not that obviously has any variance either, all right? And this is where the real efficiency begins, because you used to have to do all this manually, but all you need to do is start importing it, right? So from the product detail screen, you can either add import list or add to your products. Think of this as like the staging area for the store when you push to Shopify. You can add several products here, and then you can work on them one by one in your import queue without losing your place, right? So you don't just have to do it one by one. So all you need to do is start adding your products. Let's go back and add a different one just to showcase it for you. And then if you click over to product connection, which would be next on the left sidebar here you're going to see all the products that you hit add to your store that are waiting to be optimized and then published to your actual Shopify site, all right? This is going to keep things organized. And like I said, it makes batch processing them much easier, especially if you're adding many products in the beginning of your store at once. You don't need to add them one by one like you do on other websites. You can literally add a bunch at once and then edit, optimize them all, and push them to your store. And now once you've added those, if you go here to liked products, you can see all the ones, like I said, that you've added in, all right? So you can add them in bulk. You don't just need to do them one by one, but let's say hypothetically you wanted to work on this one and start optimizing it. Then what you would do is click it, and it's going to take you into that product page here. And then once you're done editing it, you can publish it to your store. So you can select whatever colors, variations as well. And then if you want to edit it and obviously optimize it, go to publish to your store. You should see from the drop-down arrow your store name here. So obviously I didn't name mine yet, so it's got just a bunch of specific letters and numbers here, but that's the drop-down from the one that I've connected. I've clicked confirm, and that's going to then open it up so I can optimize it, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, if you haven't connected your store on DropSure yet, here you just go down to store management, and right here it's going to say, like, literally super easy to do. Just click connect, whether it's a Shopify, WooCommerce, an eBay, a TikTok shop, like I said, an Etsy store, if you're doing print on demand, Amazon, whatever. You connect it, you click whatever that one is, it will sign into your account from DropSure, and then obviously you can then morph your products from DropSure into Shopify once it's connected. It happens probably in like 30 seconds once you sign in, very, very quickly, okay? So once you do push it, as you can see here, we selected the store. It's not named in this case yet. The product information, you can obviously optimize it, pulled it all instantly. So the product name, the actual SKU of it, so you can keep track of it, all the pictures, the product images, the variations, the prices of those specific variations. And if you want to, you can make specific adjustments to all or one of these if you want before you submit it. If you want to optimize the actual description or the name of the actual title of the product, you can obviously use AI to do that if you want to. That's personally what I do often. Sometimes I'll keep it, but generally speaking, I'll try to write it into like a little bit more of a flowy name that kind of is a little bit more short and succinct, but still has some keywords for SEO purposes later. When you're running a Shopify store, obviously that matters long term, but I wouldn't focus on SEO in the beginning because realistically, you're going to be doing either content marketing or running paid ads, and that's typically how you're going to get the majority of your customers in the beginning. SEO matters, but it's definitely like a longer play once you have a branded store, all right? So product name, again, short, succinct, something that somebody can instantly, when they hit that actual product page, know exactly what that is. Don't get cute. Keep it simple. Let the product sell itself and the messaging sell itself. Don't get cute with the name. Don't get cute with the description. You don't want to confuse anybody, okay? And then once you do make those adjustments, you just hit submit, and that will then morph it over to your Shopify store right from DropSure. And as you can see, they have a ton of products as well. So if we go back to products here, and we just go back to the product catalog. You can also click the recommended products. So as you can see here you can find all the product quotes that you've received from the specific suppliers if you've requested them. So if you're going to source a product specifically and you have a request, that's kind of where you'll see the recommended products as well. But if you're just looking for something new, go to the public catalog, search around, and see what's selling well, and obviously what type of products you want to import to your store. There are a ton of them. And there's also the lever here where you can sort by public price, and you can search by image as well. So for example, if you're reverse engineering another product from a competitor and you're trying to figure out if your supplier has it, obviously just paste that image here into DropSure, and you can search by the image, which is a feature that I absolutely love. I used to do this all the time when I was dropshipping on other websites. Like for retail dropshipping, I would reverse image search on Google to actually find somebody else's supplier and reverse engineer their top products. And you can do the same exact thing here in DropSure, and often they'll have a product that is either that or something very similar. It's a game changer. Now, once a product is obviously in your import queue here, you're going to want to optimize the listing. So the first field you obviously see, like I said previously, is the title. When you go to publish it to the store, you can rewrite it, like I said, to make it more SEO optimized. So for example, instead of like Bluetooth speaker model XYZ145, which sometimes will be the actual title of their product so that like it's an identifier in the back end for them, you might want to change that along the lines of something more, SEO friendly, but also very easy for the customer to understand what it is, right? So portable Bluetooth speaker, high bass, waterproof, 12-hour playtime. That would make perfect sense. Easy to read, easy to understand, but also SEO friendly, all right? So that's a perfect example for you. Also, make sure your titles are clear, like I said. Make sure they're descriptive and contain relevant keywords that people are actually likely to search for. That way it will help you with future search traffic when you do start branding and you do start, obviously, posting multiple product pages, or if you have a blog or anything like that where you're linking your specific products, it's going to help you on later down the line. Not immediate search traffic, but definitely something that you're on a longer term play that can pay exponential dividends once the snowball gets rolling down the hill. And like I said, will this get you a ton of sales right away? No, likely no. But SEO, like I said, is that snowball. And once you get sales in the beginning, you start to build that momentum. You'll start showing up higher in search results for relevant keywords, which ultimately will lead to more sales and then higher search results, which will then lead to more sales, which will lead to higher search results, which will lead to more sales, like that snowball building momentum, all right? And those future sales, you won't need to do anything else for, right? There's no extra time spent on creating content to drive traffic to your listings. There's no extra money spent on paid ads to drive traffic to your listings. It's going to get that snowball rolling. And like I said, once you start getting sales, the SEO will improve. And then once the SEO is improved, it will also lead to even more sales, and then vice versa. And it's just going to be a compound effect from there. Now, below the title, you're going to see the product description editor, and DropSure usually pulls the supplier description automatically, but I never recommend just leaving it as it is here. You want to read through it. You want to rewrite it into a customer-focused language that's a little bit easier for them to understand, but also better for them to, end up purchasing, right? Have that purchase intent. So talk benefits before features instead of just listing things like specs, which is where you're going to see the majority of listings start from. Instead, describe how the product, solves a specific problem or improves daily life, for example. So an example of this would be like, this speaker, if we're still talking about speakers, fills your room with rich sound, and it's easy to carry on trips and pairs instantly with any phone, right? That's easy to understand. Also talks about not just the specific features of it, but the benefits of utilizing that in everyday life, how it makes your life easier, improves it on some aspect, or saves time or money, all right? And you can use bulleted lists here or key features like battery life, connectivity, durability, and so on, and break your content into paragraphs so it's easier for customers to understand, scan through, and see immediate images and words rather than reading out a long paragraph or a long page description. No customer, I promise you, no customer is going to do that, so don't set it up that way. Now, also as you scroll down, you'll see the images here and the image gallery and the product variants here. So DropSure is going to pull all those multiple images from the actual listing, and you can then reorder them. You can delete the ones that you don't want if ones don't meet your criteria or you don't like the way that they specifically look, or you can even upload your own branded ones if you've created them. For example, like I know a lot of people that do print on demand, which is not what we're doing here in this example, but if you have print on demand, a lot of you will have, specific models and poses of your actual print-on-demand t-shirts. And so if you do have your own, you can obviously upload them yourself here. For things like variants of size and color, make sure that each variant has clear titles as well and clear images so the customers can choose one once it's live. Very easy, very self-explanatory. So for example, like the large 4-pack, the medium 4-pack. All of these are pretty good. Generally speaking, but sometimes you'll see like weird jumbled letters in here, or, it's a little bit confusing. So in that case, you just want to clarify if you do run into that problem, okay? And finally, the pricing and the margins. So it's going to show you the amount in stock that you obviously have here. It's going to show you the selling price and your cost price as well. Now, you can obviously modify this in batches and just increase it a certain amount, or you can do it each individually. So let's say your cost price of this is $282, but you wanted to charge the buyer $14.95. Well, that's what you do there, or you could obviously just batch that across the board. Same thing with stock. You could batch set that across the board. If you wanted like 10 in stock for each of these, you could just do that, right? Same thing with batch setting, or you could, like I said, if you're, having like a 6-pack here, or there's 4-packs, all these are 4-packs. But if you had like a 2-pack and then a 10-pack, obviously you'd want to charge more for that. So it wouldn't make sense to batch price across the board. But it makes it super easy to see what you're being charged per product, and then obviously see what your profit margin is going to be based on what you're charging for that specific product. This is a great time to set your Shopify price as well, so don't wait till later. It makes it super easy to set it up now. It's up to you whether you want to use a simple markup like 2 times the cost, or a dynamic pricing strategy, but make sure that you're actually having a decent margin after all fees, ads, and fulfillment costs. That's going to allow you to scale with ads easier much later, right? If you try to undercut it and you don't give yourself enough built-in margin, you're really going to struggle to scale once you actually get things going marketing-wise. So always build in more cost. You can lower your price, or you can run a sale, or you can give a specific coupon code in an ad later. Don't go crazy, but I always recommend 3 times cost is a good basis to start from if you're unsure where to start. And once you're happy with the product, you just scroll down all the way to the bottom and you submit it, and it publishes it directly to your store. It'll then give you a preview of how the product will look in Shopify, and this is a static version as well. So if you scroll back to products and you go into My Store Products, it will show you the ones that you've pushed live, and then you can click View Associate, and that will show you an example here of what it actually looks like in Shopify when the actual product goes live, right? This is a static version, okay? So it's just showing the title, the price, the description, the images, and the variants. But take a moment here, make sure everything looks right, particularly obviously for like the mobile layouts as well, because that's where customers are most often going to shop, all right? It's very important. And as you can see, if you come back to Shopify here, these have been pushed directly into our Shopify store. So after publishing them using DropSure, you can just jump straight back into Shopify product pages here and, check them out, make any final tweaks if you want to tag specific products or add SEO metadata or, change something in the back end here. You've pretty much already done most of that in DropSure. It makes it super easy, so you don't have to do that here, but it can help to obviously see what it looks like in Shopify natively. So I always recommend just clicking in and looking at it. And you can, view what it actually looks like by clicking preview on your Shopify store, like I said previously, right? And this is exactly what it's going to be like depending on your theme. It looks like all the variants are here and some of them are out of stock, which as you can see, one of the features I love as well is they also keep track of what's in stock and what's out of stock. So you never sell something that's out of stock and you obviously never price yourself out of profit, which is crucial. Now, once the product is published, it's very important to verify everything that you want cleanly and make sure that it's displaying correctly on your live store, like I said, all right? So take a quick look at it just to make sure, don't assume, and then you want to do a quick Shopify check, right? So open the back end of Shopify, go to products, search the product that you just published. Here you want to make sure that the title matches, the product's correct, the variants are accurate, the images are displayed properly, and if you're using a theme that uses like image zoom or thumbnails or video, make sure that those are also configured as well. It depends on the theme, but if you're picking a simple theme, obviously you won't run into many issues. And I don't recommend generally starting. If you're watching a tutorial like this, you're probably either starting or on the tail end of starting, and just kind of getting into it. So pick a theme that's very, very simple. And now that you've seen just how easy it is to utilize DropSure to grab these products and pull them in, regardless of what you're using, there's a ton of products here. It makes it super simple. You're now in a great position to scale your store more efficiently because the real game here isn't just importing the products like this. That's the easy part, right? It's building a repeatable workflow so you can add excellent products without paying super quickly. You can polish them so they convert very, very easily, and you can get them live and in front of customers very, very fast with minimal friction. That's the key here, right? You need a supplier that every single time you don't have to, jump through bells and whistles just to get the products up and running and manually edit everything. Instead, this makes it super easy. You can search through categories. You can adjust the prices and filter that way. You can search by image if you want to reverse engineer a competitor product and then find that specific product or product like it. You can actually you can sort from China warehouses or US warehouses. You can search for keywords or a specific product. You can start in a specific niche or category as well and see what products are available there and then bring them all over or bring certain ones over. It makes it so easy to do so, and it's never been this easy before to get a product up and running in your Shopify store so that you can market it and test it very, very quickly. Because the name of the game, in my opinion, is speed. The faster you're testing products, you're going to get through the no's to get to the yeses a lot faster, and that's where you're going to see the success. So all in all, this workflow from start and search to publish is going to save you hours. It's going to reduce the manual errors that come from copying and pasting between tabs and different platforms, which is a nightmare and a headache, especially for beginners. And if you're serious about growing a Shopify store with real consistency, then tools like this can make a big difference in both speed and quality, all right? So at this point, you've seen the full workflow. I made it as easy as possible. I showed you how to import the products, right? From setting up Shopify to importing the products with DropSure, super easy, regardless of what product, category, or type you want, price point, it doesn't matter whether it ships from China, US, or whatever. Optimizing the listings as well so they actually look professional, publishing them, and then verifying everything live in the store, right? And that is really the biggest takeaway here. It makes it super easy. It isn't about shortcuts or gimmicks. It's about building better product pages faster, so much faster, without the messy imports, all the friction that comes along with it, all the broken descriptions, all the bad products, all the guesswork that's going to hold most stores back, and especially most beginners. Instead of jumping between tools and needing 5 different things, copying supplier info, fixing things after the fact, you're now able to work inside a clean, structured system from start to finish that makes it super easy to see all the different products, all the different nuances of those products, where you're sourcing them from, the prices. Bring them in seamlessly, automatically once you connect it to your Shopify store, and then publish it right to the store so you can go live and test that product that day, right? Not a week from now, literally that day. So if you're just starting, this is going to give you clarity and direction. And if you've already tried dropshipping before, this is going to give you a smoother, more scalable workflow, all right? Either way, it's going to save you time, it's going to reduce mistakes, and it's going to help you launch products that are actually ready to sell much, much faster. So if you want to try this yourself, I will link DropSure in the description below. You can sign up, you can connect your Shopify store and start importing and optimizing products the same way that I just showed you in this video. But as always, don't rush it. Focus on doing things the right way, build clean product pages, test products consistently, and then let your store improve over time, right? Tools like this don't replace the work, but they make it a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster to get products up in your store like that, so you can then test and move on to the testing phase, so you can get through the testing phase and get through the no's to get to the yeses where the real money is. Hope it helps.